Robby, you are the owner of Therasage and you helped come up with all of these things too. Tell me how you got into all of this.
It started about 20 plus years ago,
Hmm.
like 22 years ago. And I started medical school prior to that, a bunch of years before that. And so I have sort of a eclectic background, engineering, business, financial, and also in the health sciences. So even though I didn't finish my allopathic track, I kind of had that as sort of a background. Um, had a young family. My daughter, oldest child, in her early teens, like maybe 13 to 15, got contracted Lyme disease
Oh,
and was chronic Lyme. That was 22 years ago. So Lyme 22 years ago is very different than the Lyme of today. And 22 years ago, we were kind of looking for the solutions that would help manage her healthcare. So we had means, and we were able to find the best Lyme literate doctor available in the country. He was located in New York. We were in South Florida. So every 6 weeks, we would go up to New York and spend 4 days, having a good dinner and enjoying New York City, and 2 hours or 3 hours focusing on, her health challenge. I didn't really want my daughter's memories of her adolescence to be surrounded around her diagnosis.
yeah.
So, which, as you probably see even in your practice, that many people it becomes a ball and chain around their neck, right?
Hmm.
They all of a sudden they get fearful, or they start overreading it, overthinking it, and then they're dead in their tracks. So for me, I wanted to distract her from that and focus on living. You know. Anyway, so I put on my healthcare hat, and I started looking at her symptoms. And basically, her major symptoms were high levels of toxicity, inflammation, body pain, cognitive challenges. So then I started diving into those topics, and somehow I focused on toxicity, started looking at the best ways to detox, most efficient ways to chelate, and that were available. Invasive, non-invasive, the whole gambit, and then discovered that there are actual frequencies of sun energy that mobilize all the toxins in your body. So I'm going, oh my God, this is so amazing.
Okay.
But then it's sort of like you have that epiphany or that discovery, right?
Yeah.
And then what happened was I realized 22 years ago, the only people using infrared in medicine and healthcare was basically the sports medicine doctors that were using infrared technology along with other things to lower pain thresholds of their players and expedite their healings to get back on the field faster. So both of those things intrigued me, but the challenge really was developing devices that we could basically use, at home. And so I spent, I don't know, the better part of 3 months developing a strategy. I went over to various countries, spent a lot of time in Asia, almost 2 months, and saw more than 65 factories, and found a handful that I could work with to develop devices, mostly for personal use. So I started doing that. And then we started implementing strategies with these devices I was developing for our own personal use. And my daughter was getting amazing results, which all of her surrounding practitioners, because I don't know if you see do you see a lot of Lyme in your practice?
I'm starting to see more and more Lyme, and I'm pretty sure I had it myself. That's how I got into functional medicine, and now learning more about it and seeing my symptom patterns, like I'm sure that's one of the things that was going on.
Okay. All right. Well, then you can truly relate on a personal level to what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
So, for me, it was sort of a cathartic step-by-step process. I discovered one thing, and as an inventor, what happens is you kind of invent something, or you get this discovery and you think you're there, and then you realize when you walk through that door that there's 5 more doors behind that door, and so on and so forth. So it really created a journey.
Yeah.
And the practitioners saw that that Julia, my daughter, was getting some amazing results. So they started asking for us to start to develop these devices for their use in their clinics. Most of them were all Lyme, almost 100% Lyme. And that was really the genesis of our company 22 years ago. And so it's been very blissful and very, sort of heartfelt and almost divinely driven, because each of the breakthroughs in the pillars of the elements that make up our core devices were all different stages of the journey, and we're still doing it. I mean, I'm not at all complacent with the things that we do here and the discoveries we make. And I think that's part of the stuff that separates us from everybody else on the block, because I'm not a salesman. I am the inventor.
Yeah.
And I don't need a board of directors to decide to do research, develop something that and integrate that into our platform and then bring it out to the public. I don't need anyone's permission to do that. I do it because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And that's a very different orientation than I find that many of the other people in my space are doing. Also, we don't believe philosophically it's good enough to just make a great device. Mm-hmm. How you deliver that device and how that is implemented in a strategy with your health provider and or even in a home strategy makes all the difference in how effective that can be.
The Healthy Hotline is your go-to resource for leading-edge health technologies and is powered by Therasage. Therasage brings unique, healthy infrared healing energy to the public in easy-to-use and affordable, high-quality products. Subscribe to the Healthy Hotline and get a discount on your next Therasage purchase. Go to Therasage.com and enter Healthy Hotline at checkout. That's one word, Healthy Hotline, to get a special discount on your next Therasage purchase. Subscribe to the Healthy Hotline on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts, and we'll see you in the next episode.